Shane Baz was the future of the Rays rotation. Now, he's a question mark.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome into the Locked On Rays podcast. Locked On Rays is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day, and we are Kevin and Ulysses.
We are lifelong Rays fans who've been podcasting about the Tampa Bay Rays since 2019.
On today's show, we'll explain why Tuesday's 13-3 loss to the Yankees was unbelievably, historically bad. In a few minutes, we'll discuss Rays outfielder Josh Lowe being back in the lineup and avoiding the injured list altogether. But we'll begin with what the Rays need to do with Shane Baz.
But first, got to tell you that this episode is brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the USA. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. We are going to talk about Shane Baz, the man on your screen if you're on YouTube. Shane Baz, what are your big thoughts on his 2025 season so far?
Well, let me start with this. Since the All-Star break, do you want to take a gander what his ERA is post All-Star break?
Well, that's a good one. Let's go with a nice hefty 582.
Okay. Since the All-Star break, he has thrown 28 innings. In those 28 innings, he has a 9.32 ERA. And that is a disaster, if I may say so myself. And what happened against the Yankees on Tuesday, where he throws a cutter to Aaron Judge, home run. He throws a cutter to Cody Bellinger, home run. He throws a fastball to Giancarlo Stanton, home run. He throws a cutter to Jose Caballero, home run. He throws a knuckle curve to Jazz Chisholm, home run. Yeah. And not to mention all the other poorest starts that he's had this year and since the All-Star break. I think it's time that the Rays do one of two things with him. Either send him down to AAA or shut him down. And here's my reasoning behind that. For one, he's struggling mightily.
Yeah.
Two, this is his first full year since Tommy John surgery. So my guess is perhaps there's a stamina endurance issue of going the full year. So I am putting the Rays on notice. Don't keep rolling Shane Baz out there. Let's try to get him fixed for 2026, because what is going on right now is not working. Not to say that he can't ever get back to the player that we intended him to be, but we can't have these discussions about Shane Baz being the future ace of the staff anymore.
I think Shane Baz has the stuff to be an ace type level pitcher. We were all hoping for a next step, but I think we are at that stage where there's a fork in the road of you need to do something. I think throwing him right now every 5 days is not helping the team, and this team is not going to the playoffs.
Right. That's Absolutely. All done. That's our third segment, why they're not going to the playoffs. So, yeah. So what's the point of rolling out Shane Baz? You might as well try to get him fixed and put him in a low pressure environment in AAA where he can tinker and work and figure out, hey, do I need to ditch a pitch? Do I need to change how I throw a pitch? I need to work on command and location, because he has the stuff. Like you said, I agree. He has the stuff, but even a guy who has the stuff can't get away with throwing meatballs down the middle of the plate.
No, and they were meatballs. I will say this though: if you send him down to AAA, which is one of the options you're saying, the season ends the third week of September. So you would essentially be leaving him down there for a month. Then you can call him back up, right? You were going to do that with Tosh Bradley. You send him down to AAA before you traded him. Why are you not doing that with Shane when it's clear the team is not going to the playoffs? When it's clear he hasn't had sustained success. The last time that he was actually showing the Shane Baz that we think that he should be and that I think he knows he can be was in Kansas City. That was the last time the Rays were on the 25-9 streak that everybody thinks that they can still they're holding on to that 25-9 like forever. Shane Baz pitched 8 innings in Kansas City, so obviously has the stuff. But since then, it's been a very clear struggle for him. And even on that knuckle curve, that is a tremendous pitch.
Right.
You said yesterday, Jazz Chisholm took him deep on the knuckle curve. And guess what? Jazz Chisholm couldn't hit more than 3 home runs in the home run derby. And he took you deep with one of your best pitches.
Jose Caballero took you deep. Caballero does not have power.
Caballero had 2 home runs this season. He had 1 off you, and he had 2 on Tuesday night.
Yeah, I think it's bad enough to go back to back to back, allow back to back to back home runs, but then Caballero and Jazz are the cherry.
Yeah, and so I agree. Something needs to be done with Shane Baz. I think the answer is not we're gonna keep him working on here in the big leagues. Like,
yeah, you need to build up his confidence.
Yeah, emotionally, like you can't crush his exactly, Kevin. You can't crush this guy's confidence, and that we should hammer this on. Can you have a bad year and then come back strong? Yes, and us Rays fans know this from firsthand. Hello, does anybody not remember 2010 with James Shields, where he had like a 5.3 ERA or something like that? We remember that. And what happened the next year? He was a Cy Young candidate with 11 complete games in 2011. So can you have a horrible year and then come back and be an ace-type pitcher? Yes. But don't do this to this guy by just putting him out there every 5 years to get shellacked, man. Yeah. He's getting shellacked every day out there. Like, it's not fun for him. He lasted only 3 innings with the Yankees, man. Like, you cannot keep doing what you're doing and expect different results. That's the definition of insanity. You got to do something different. I agree with you. You got to either send him AAA or just shut him down. I don't think they're going to shut him down. I think AAA is more likely, but they haven't yet, man. Why haven't they yet? I mean, it's execution, it's pitch selection, they must know what it is because the data is there.
Yeah, the data is there, which, I mean, if you look at all his pitches, the 4-seamer, the knuckle curve, the cutter, the changeup, the slider, every one of those pitches except the knuckle curve gets hit by a pretty good number. The batting average on the knuckle curve is 205. On the 4-seamer, it's 261. Cutter, 286. Changeup, or no, I have that mixed up. The cutter is 329. The changeup is 262. And the slider is 429. I think, and I agree with you, you're allowed to have a bad season. James Shields had a bad season, came right back. Future Hall of Famers, Justin Verlander had a bad season earlier in his career. Max Scherzer had a bad season earlier in his career, and he bounced back. Comparing Shane Baz to those 2 players, I'm just trying to make a point that one bad season does not mean that your career is in the toilet. But I think this is, grab him and say, hey, this is a wake-up call. We need to get this figured out, because if you don't, he's going to go the route of Tosh Bradley. He's going to go the route of Luis Patino. And maybe that's what the Rays do, is say, hey, we feel like we can't fix him. He just needs a new voice from the pitching coach and the manager in the front office. and we'll send him to Chicago or something like that.
Kevin,
but I think the Rays can figure it out with him.
If you are the Rays, and those are the two options, AAA or shutdown, which one do you go for?
I would go AAA. I mean, not to say that he has to go down and pitch, hey, we want you to give at least 6 or 7 innings. I mean, you can kind of.
Would you put him in the bullpen?
Sure. I mean, if you're really worried about his workload and his innings limit, which I think maybe you should be a little bit with the full season coming off Tommy John. I'd be fine.
I think that's the reason. I think honestly, I'm on the other side. I think you shut him down. He just came from Tommy John. He's thrown enough innings. It hasn't worked. Look, let's just focus.
We're on the same page. If something has to be done with him, you can't. Yes. To me, it doesn't really make sense to roll him out with the big league club right now. If you want to stick him in the bullpen with the big league club, okay, I get that a little bit, but I still want to. I feel like the only way to figure out what's going on, to rebuild your confidence and to fine tune your mechanics and your mix, it's AAA. It's the minor leagues. That's where you go to, hey, guys, swing. It's wonky right now. He needs a reset. You send him down to AAA.
Or I think they have a great idea here where they don't have to demote him to AAA. In fact, they can say, hey, we're going to shut you down.
Okay.
Because you've pitched enough innings.
And he just does bullpen set. He just pitches. He's just practicing.
Yeah, he's just obviously with the team and all that. But I just feel like you are doing more harm putting him out there and getting shellacked every 5 days than the emotional confidence hit that he would get if you shut him down. Because if you shut him down, you've got reasons to do it medically. You just came back from Tommy John. It's a first full season. We can give you a rest. This team is going nowhere. Let's just focus on 2026 from now. But the time has come where the Rays need to take a decision here.
Yes.
Okay? AAA, shutdown, whatever it is, but it can't be what they've been doing for the last 2 months.
By the way, Shane Baz has achieved a mark, allowing 5 home runs on Tuesday. That is one shy of the major league and team record of 6 held by, you guessed it, Shields back in 2010 and 10 other players. That is not a record that you want to be a part of if you are a starting pitcher. And devil's advocate, you could say, there was a 2-hour rain delay and he played catch but hadn't thrown off the bullpen mound when the tarp was rolled out. Okay, I can level with you a little bit on that. He was maybe out of his groove, out of his rhythm. Pitchers, baseball players in general, are creatures of habit, and they have their routines that they stick to. They're superstitious. I get all that, but look at his entire season as a whole. It's not like this was his only bad outing. This was the worst outing, most likely, but we've been seeing this unsettling trend for a while now.
Correct.
So, all right, we have much more to discuss, including Josh Lowe. He is not going to be sent to the injured list after all. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. We don't want that, right? Well, that's why there is Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface on your laptop or your phone. The good thing about Monarch Money, they do the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. Ulysses, I know you like spreadsheets, but not that much. Monarch will take care of that for you. So don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That is 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB.
Thank you for listening to Locked On Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Josh Lowe is not going to the injured list after all. claims to be healthy. I think these next few weeks, Kev, have to prove the point that he's healthy, because the 2025 production has not been there as the 2024 production was not there. Again, right oblique strain injured. Once again, like in 2025. And then so far away from that 2023 campaign, who he was a terrific ball player that we thought, hey, he was a core guy to build around. He hasn't been that for 2 years. I think these next few weeks have to prove the case that he's healthy and he can produce, because, as we said a couple of weeks ago, you put his numbers next to Christopher Morel, and they're very similar. They're more similar than we would like. Yes, the defense takes Josh way above that category, but just strictly speaking on the production at the plate, very similar to Christopher Morel.
Yeah, and I honestly don't have too high expectations. Similar to Shane Baz. You roll out Shane Baz the rest of the season, I think it's going to be more of the same. I would pretty much expect more of the same from Josh Lowe, because even while he and the team claims that he's healthy, he's ready to go, I feel like there is something there, and he's already missed. I know he wasn't sent on the injured list, but he has missed a couple games already. So I feel like he's already a little bit out of a rhythm as it is, and it might take a little bit of time for him to ramp back up. But, you know, I'm willing to say, okay, you screw around, you don't have a great 2025. To me, 2026, I think, is a very important year for Josh Lowe. Like, I think he kind of has to knock it out of the park in 2026, because at some point you're going to have prospects knocking at the door. You know, what are you going to do with all these other guys that want that opportunity and want that shot if you have a guy that consistently deals with this oblique injury and isn't producing like we expected? So I don't know if that's trade or what the situation is, but even if he struggles like he is right now for the rest of the season, I'm okay with that. I can live with that. But you better come out firing in 2026. And I better see at the end of the year 250, 260 batting average, 15 home runs, and 20 plus stolen bases. That's what I'm banking on for Josh Lowe. That's what a corner outfielder should be giving you.
Wait, you mean for 2026 or 2025?
2026, I'm sorry.
Okay.
2025 is a lost cause. I'm looking at 2026.
So for me, I agree with 50% of what you're saying. The other 50%, I think he needs these next few weeks to at least put a little bit of tranquility in the minds of not only the Rays fan nation, but
that's fair,
the front office. Like, you need a little bit of a sign of hope that, hey, 2023 wasn't a peak. 2023 wasn't just a flash in the pan. I can be that guy. At least you need a little substance to hold you over through November until March, because you mentioned something. The names are there. Johnny DeLuca needs a spot. Chandler Simpson came up this year. Jake Mangum came up this year. They traded for Everson Pereira this year. Trey Morgan is knocking around, and if he can't make it to first base because of the logjam, hey, guess what? Then he's going to get stuck in a corner outfield position. Yes, he can move around, but Richie Palacios. Hello, does anybody not remember Richie Palacios? He was pretty solid. So the names for the outfield are there. The Rays have them, and if Josh Lowe is not going to show you in the next few weeks that he can be at least somewhat of that 2023 player, that's going to create question marks there. And 2026, I agree with you 1,000%. It's a make or break year. He cannot have another year in 2026 that looks like 2025 or that looks like 2024. Because if that's the case, you're going to now get expensive in Rays terms, as in you're no longer pre-arb. Now you're going to be arbitration eligible. So the money's going to go up. The Rays are not going to pay arbitration eligible players $3 million, $4 million, $5 million when they're getting a 640 OPS.
Yeah.
They're just not. They'd rather get a 640 OPS from a guy that's getting paid $750K.
Right.
That's
And
they'd
you
be
can find
okay
a
with
lot
it.
of guys that'll give you a 640 OPS for $750,000. That's replacement level at that point. And
So,
Josh Lowe, the way he's performed this year, he's basically a replacement level player. The good
again,
looks might bump him up a little bit.
he
But
does have good looks,
yeah.
and he has an 88 WRC plus, which is not that far away from Morel's 82. At least when we made that comparison. And on Wednesday night, when he was back in the lineup, he went 0 for 3 with a walk and 2 Ks. So just another tough night. I know the team was getting basically no hit till like the 7th inning, until Chandler Simpson came big. But I gotta tell you,
and that kind of goes to my point of like it's going to take. You already missed a couple days as it was, and you can get out of a groove pretty quickly as a ball player there. And these next couple weeks, let's see how he runs. Let's see how he fields. Let's see how he handles the plate. He is arbitration eligible in 2026, so maybe these next couple weeks are pretty important for him. And I'll tell you something that's really damning as far as we talk about oblique injuries and really hurting a guy's power and torque and just the swing in general. So one of the biggest differences from 2023 to 2025 for him, 2023, his bat speed was in the 78th percentile at 73.9 miles per hour, I believe. And now in 2025, the bat speed is in the 50th percentile at 72.2 miles per hour. So that's a big chunk that you've lost right there. And even in his great 2023 year, he was always a guy that chased and whiffed and struck out a lot. So
But the thing is, it's not only that, Kev, but the base running. I mean, when you look at the base running run value, it was in the 85th percentile. This year, it's in the 70th percentile. That's 15 points down percentage-wise. Like, with guys around the league, yes, we know that as you get older, those metrics are usually going to get hit, right?
But he's not that much older. He's
not that much older.
Yeah.
Exactly. So he's getting that much of a bump down in only 2 years. So if you're the Rays front office and you're looking at 2023, boom, awesome. 2024, you can be like, okay, it was injuries. 2025, you can be like, okay, it's injuries. So is he injury prone? I don't know, but we'll tell you.
We will see how these next several weeks go.
We have to,
and it's unfortunate that some other guys won't get an opportunity, but this is the time for Josh Lowe to make some sort of statement. Having said that, I do not expect a lot of home runs from him based on the issues that he's dealing with that oblique. So
that right oblique strain is huge for to sap the power. So yeah, hopefully these next few weeks can give him a little bit of a change of pace in his production, but 2026 is definitely a year to watch. But in other negative news, we'll tell you why. We'll tell you why Tuesday's loss alongside Wednesday's loss were the worst of the season. It's that time, people. You got to fuel up and turn it up with 5-hour energy transfusion. Grape, ginger, lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course. That's basically every night. That's what Kevin dreams about, that taste of that golf course. Yes, he does. And whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push for yourself to get through watching Rays baseball, well, guess what? 5-hour energy transfusion delivers the clubhouse flavor that you love. So today, you have got to try this. So you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the U.S. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. It ends October 31st, 2025. Again, visit 5hewin.com. Thank you for listening to Locked On Rays. Thank you so much for listening to Locked On Rays. Thank you so much for hitting that like button. Thank you so much for hitting that subscribe button. And if you haven't, what are you waiting for? It's free and it helps us. And, don't you want to beat the algorithm? Have you not seen The Matrix, people? Let's go. Come on. Okay, Kevin. We have to do that. We have to do that because, by golly, the last two games have just been a stump in the trachea. It has been rough as a Rays fan, losing 13-3 on Tuesday, and then losing in just gut-wrenching fashion in extra innings, 6-4 on Wednesday. Kevin, say it with your chest, because I've been saying it with my chest on social media, and I still see people holding on to that blimey positivity. Kevin.
Yeah. The Rays will not make the playoffs. The playoff dream is dead for 2025. 2026, wait and see me. We'll see how Josh Lowe performs in 2026. But yeah, the Tuesday's 13-3 loss, that was the death knell right there. That basically signaled and said, if all hope wasn't already lost, the Tuesday loss cemented that with an exclamation point. I mean, the fact that Rays pitchers gave up 9 home runs total, breaking the team record for a game set on August 7th, 2010 at Toronto, and one shy of the major league record. And obviously, it doesn't help when you're in a quote unquote wild card chase and you lose in that fashion to a division foe at quote unquote home. The Yankees were just toying with you. And my thought from the get-go after that game finally ended, I don't even know if we can call it a game. It was just a disaster. My thought was the Rays they're lost. And I don't know how you can recover from a game like that. It'd be one thing if you didn't have a rain delay, but you add on the rain delay and you finish late and you have to experience that. How do you get up and perform the next day knowing that like your playoff odds just shot down another like 2%? And then if you lose this next game on Wednesday, you're pretty much totally donezo. And that's what happened. It's not like a game in April or May where you can have a clunker and recover. All right, well, so yeah, we lost 9-2. Big deal. We can come back and win 4-2. No, this sucked all the air out of any hopes, dreams, aspirations.
And I'll tell you, you asked like, oh, how can you get up the next day and face the same team and try to win it, emotionally, like getting back up there? I'll tell you how, by getting no hit for 7 innings.
Yes. By
Schlittler. It's just a combination of factors here that that was the worst. You're right. That was the worst loss of the season. And that's something we need to hammer here. It was the worst loss of the year because of the combination of the stakes, the time of the year. You're saying it's March 30th. You lose that way. Who gives a crap? We got
we got another 159 to go.
Right. But this time it's like, no, buddy boy, you got 37 left and you need to be playing 26-11 pace. Like it was the nail in the coffin. And if it wasn't, then the fact that they sweep you at your home in their spring training stadium, I have no clue, Kevin, how anybody in Rays Nation could still think that the Rays have a shot. Because if somebody dares to say, I was there in 2011, we were 9 games behind the Red Sox and we made it through. I'm the number one who always quotes that. Mm-hmm. Something important to say in 2025, different than 2011, folks. We were only chasing one team. Only one team. We were chasing the Red Sox, okay? That was it. That was before the wild card. got expanded, okay? Because in the year of our Lord 2025, it ain't the Red Sox only, okay? You're chasing the Seattle Mariners, the Kansas City Royals, the Cleveland Guardians, the Texas Rangers. That's 4 bleeping teams.
Yeah.
That's 4 bleeping teams. So the positivity that I'm still seeing on social media, it's kind of like, guys, it's turning into toxic positivity. I mean, obviously negativity is bad, but let's live in the real world here. Like, this team, after the worst loss of the year, has no chance.
The only positivity, the only thing that you can say we can do it is not finishing last in the division. We're still a game and a half ahead of the Baltimore Orioles, the last I checked.
Game and a half, and
so that's what we can. That's what our calling card is right now. Hey, we won't finish last.
We at least not yet. And the Rays, the thing is now, they can't even get to 500. Honestly, like, can we start that?
500? I mean that's kind of our next conversation. First, it was playoffs, then not really playoffs. It's going to take a Hail Mary. Now it's going to take
20
a Hail Mary and a resurrection.
They need to go 20 and 15 to get to 500.
Okay, that it is quote unquote doable. But that's what we can root for at this point.
That's what we can root for. But I really want to put it in the comments, because put it in the comments if you believe. No, not if you believe. If you think, if you rationally sat down and think, can this team, do I actually think they are going to go 20 and 15? Yeah. Do I actually hold that in my brain? Because after Tuesday's worst loss of the year, and I know we've said that multiple times in this segment, worst loss of the year, I don't think you can go back to saying, let alone playoffs, but the 500 seems rather impossible right now.
We talked about realignment earlier this week. Just move us to the AL Central. Give us a fighting chance one of these days.
Please.
So yeah, that it was brutal to say the least. And we're at the juncture where we are now rooting for going 500. If we want to get cutesy, let's go 82 and 80. And then individual performances. Let's see Chandler Simpson steal some more bases. Let's see Junior Caminero get a couple more home runs. Let's see, I guess, if Shane Baz is going to be thrown out there. Let's see some improvements from him. Josh Lowe, let's see some improvements from him. And we need to reassess for 2026. But you can't expect to go anywhere when, again, you put 5 rookies in your starting lineup that have like 3 weeks experience combined. I don't know. It's a tough situation. But yeah, luckily on the bright side, to end on some positive news here, the Rays do not have to face the Yankees again.
Yeah.
So we have that going for us.
Silver lining.
Yeah, I was starting to like, you don't think about, okay, Giancarlo Stanton's hurt all the time. All right, big deal. But when he's in the lineup and healthy, he makes a big difference.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
So, all right, there we go. Hope you all enjoyed. Thank you for listening to the Locked On Rays podcast and making us your first listen every day. I'm just flabbergasted at what is going on right now. Really not, but
awful.
13-3. Make sure your second listen is Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. That is on the Locked On MLB channel. You can find that on YouTube and wherever you listen to those podcasts.